Hey everyone, today we are sitting down with Leyton, our go-to insurance broker. Leyton, thanks so much for being such a great resource for all the owners that you're helping within the market here in Southern California. And we thought it'd be great to hop on and get an update on what's going on in the insurance world, and then some tips that you can provide some owners because insurance is just changing dramatically on us.
Appreciate you having me, and yeah, glad to help out.
What would you recommend to viewers that are watching this video to be proactive within their buildings to get ahead of maybe minimize any risk or increase the chances for renewal or not to get, their premium, just getting shot up on them? Is there anything that you can recommend there?
Yeah, definitely. So the competitive companies of when I'm talking with them, their underwriting managers, they're saying, look, the preferred properties are going to get the preferred rates. And realistically, that's probably about 10 to 15% of apartment complexes are going to qualify for that. So you as a building owner, first thing you should do is pull up your building on Google Street View and take a look at it. Also, go look at the Google Earth roof view, the aerial, because these are the first two things that every insurance company underwriter is going to do when they look at your building. They want to see how it's being maintained. The landscaping, the paint, things that, maybe didn't matter as much 4 or 5 years ago, they're scrutinizing it, every single part of a property now. I have seen those flat roofs on those aerial views, in my opinion, unfairly criticized because they'll kind of have that pool. They can kind of pool a little bit, and then dirt gets up there, and it'll look bad, even though a roof could be new and nice. So my opinion, is in my recommendation is to, go look at what it looks like on Google Street View. And if it's better than what it looks like, you've done nice things to it, take photos of it and send it to your insurance agent prior to your renewal so that they can pass those along to underwriters. Right now, presenting your property in the best light as possible is very helpful and necessary to getting better rates. Some other things that, I think are helpful, making sure you're carrying renter's insurance, huge, making sure your tenants are carrying renter's insurance, that is. Um, Making sure, there's no grills on balconies. We've seen big claims from that. Um, in addition, the painting and landscaping we mentioned, when you do updates, so electrical, plumbing, heating, roof, take photos, any permits you have, keep invoices, and again, present that stuff to your insurance company because it is very helpful. Um, some other things I've seen, I've seen the marketplace kind of shift where they don't like the gas wall heaters because of carbon monoxide poisoning, potentially. Uh, if possible, if you can get those changed to electric wall heaters, it's going to probably benefit you down the line. Not all the companies are saying it, but I'm seeing a trend. So, something to potentially get ahead of. And then just the basic updates to electrical, plumbing, heating, roof. That's what all the companies are going to ask about now. Most of the California housing stock was built in the 50s, 60s, 70s. So, companies are saying, look, this is past its useful life. Even if your electrical hasn't had any issues yet, they don't want to be the one that pays if it does go bad. So, kind of think of it in that scenario. And then just a couple other things I've noticed in the marketplace is the larger complexes are really struggling to get coverage because there's not a lot of companies that have what we call the capacity, the ability to write high value properties because they're so big. A lot of companies get cut off at what we call a total insurable value, and that's your building limit plus your business income. And building limit, replacement costs, interchangeable terms. $10 million is a very common cutoff for companies. So even a 40 unit complex probably starts blowing through that pretty quickly. Anything above that. I've seen the large single buildings get very high rates and not very good coverage. So just a couple additional things I've been seeing, how companies are approaching these kinds of properties.
Right. I mean, we're having to take that into consideration on the front end versus on the back end. Insurance was just a back end process, but now we're making sure we're getting quotes from you on the front end so buyers can underwrite that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And there's other things, right? There's like that. There's things that we're not experiencing a couple years ago, like a crime score. Like what even is that? And companies are now declining based off of that. Or if they won't even quote increased rates, it's tough. There's things we hadn't even considered, a few years ago that they're looking at. And so getting started on early, definitely beneficial.
Well, look, we really appreciate your time, your efforts. We'll put your contact information below. I know me and you can go on and on and on and talk about a lot of stuff here, but I think the most important thing is giving those key tips to owners. I think the Google with the photos and just being proactive and getting that information over to you or over to the insurance company so you can get renewed is huge right there.
Yeah, agreed. Just it needs to be something that is top of mind. I know it's something that was the last thing anyone wanted to think about, but now it's very important to be proactive and getting started very early. And when I say early, I mean like 2 months before your renewal date. That's to the extent that you need to begin thinking about these kind of things, if not even earlier.
I agree. We've had it to where we've gotten you in early. We've gotten the electricians in early to fix any deficiencies with the building, so we get ahead approaching a renewal date, and you're doing the best you can on the front end.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, Leyton. Really appreciate it. We'll put your contact information on the screen and below, and we look forward to getting more updates and hopefully some good news down the road from you within the industry. But thanks so much for all you do, and we'll keep it going.
Yeah, you got it, Dan. Appreciate
All
it.
right. Take care.
All right, you too.